I just played the new Call of Duty beta. I'd love to talk about some of the design decisions. This is game design school. Let's dive in and begin. I loved the original Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and I'm one of those people that quit playing once they started adding jetpacks and running on walls. So I was pretty excited to see they were going back to basically what I loved, but I had no expectations. I've been so disappointed so many times. But after playing it, it did bring back some nostalgia, and I do think they executed on the idea. So let's talk about the game design. The gunplay feels good, the variety of weapons feels good, the perks, the kill streaks, all that stuff feels good. There's nothing wrong with that, so I don't really want to talk about that too much. I'd love to talk about things that I think they kind of got wrong. I think Call of Duty has some of the best first-person shooter level design because there are so many ways to get to so many points. But you can overdo that, and it almost feels like they did overdo it in these Call of Duty games. You don't need 5 ways to get to one point, and it kind of feels like they love doing that in this Call of Duty. Another thing that doesn't help the level design is the art style. It's very realistic, rugged, whatever, but all the colors kind of just, they're so bland and muted that you never really know what building you're in or which direction you're facing. Everywhere kind of looks the same. It's realistic, but to the point of being dull. I think you can still be realistic and have fun levels like the yacht level, summit, etc. There's plenty of good Call of Duty levels that aren't just boring houses. I think a huge part of first-person shooters is the level design, and these levels aren't interesting. They're not bad, they're not gorgeous, they're just kind of passable. There's a basic Call of Duty level formula where you kind of have 3 lanes, and the middle one is where most of the action is going to be at, and the side ones are for flanking, yet the 3 lanes connect to each other. Does that sound familiar? Yeah, it's kind of what the League of Legends map is. And this map design works really well. However, these maps almost interweave a little too much, and there doesn't feel like a center of the map where all the action's at. A nice addition is the doors. You can open doors slowly and they make no noise, or you can open them normally, which will make a little bit of noise, or you can just run through them and slam those suckers open, which is a really cool addition to the levels. I think it adds tactics and strategy that previously wasn't there just because there were no doors. They also added mounting, which is basically just peeking around corners. It's also another tactical thing, but it's not really fun to do, and I didn't really see anyone doing it. The problem is no one really cared. Even though they're there, it doesn't mean people will use them. The game is designed to allow for tactics, and I can totally see what they were going for, and it is possible to do tactics. The problem is that that's not the funnest way to play. But hey, at least it's there for the more tactical game modes. I haven't played Call of Duty in a long time, and going back to it after playing League of Legends, For Honor, and Overwatch makes me miss some game aspects, the main one being teamwork. It's crucial in a game like League of Legends and Overwatch, but in Call of Duty, it kind of just feels like you do your best and call out enemy positions once in a while. I didn't feel like there were any team plays, and I miss that. The game design supports high tactical play, but there's not much of a reason to do it. It's not the funnest way to play, and most game modes don't let you resurrect a teammate, so it feels bad winning a gunfight to find you are the last one alive and now in a bad position. I think a solution to this would be to create a short timer, like 10 seconds, for you to revive an ally. It's what For Honor does, and it feels great. A nice addition to the multiplayer game modes is the new Ground War, 32 versus 32 game mode with vehicles. It kind of feels like Battlefield Light, and that's a good thing. My least favorite thing about Battlefield is the sheer size of the levels, but Call of Duty keeps it just the right size for the combat to be super heated, yet open enough to feel like a battlefield. I love sniping, and these maps let me snipe. It would be so frustrating to play Call of Duty as a sniper and have like 1 or 2 levels with good sniping points, but in Ground War, there are a ton of great sniping locations. A silly issue to still have in Call of Duty is spawn kills. what is this, like the 8th Call of Duty, and they still haven't figured out how to prevent you from getting spawn killed. It's kind of frustrating to play a game where you hop in and 3 seconds later you die from someone spawn killing you. Luckily, Ground War kind of solves this problem because it lets you choose what base you spawn at, so you can choose whether you want to be in the heat of the action or somewhere safer. I think adding Ground War was a really smart design decision, and you see this happening more often now in games, where they have several game modes that drastically change how the game plays, so it's almost like multiple games in one. Okay, so just a note I want to add in. I played a lot more Call of Duty, and I gotta say that a lot of the issues start going away the more you play. It's one of those games where the more you play, the better it gets. Like once you learn the levels, the art style doesn't really bother you, and everything kind of having the same colors isn't an issue anymore, and it really starts feeling more like a sport and more tactical. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say. Overall, it's a good Call of Duty, and I think old school fanboys, they're gonna enjoy this one. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week.